Welcome to el video número 2 of the series Mastering Spanish Pronunciation. I'm Andres from Español para ti, and in this video we'll be focusing on the Spanish consonant sounds. In this video, we'll be dividing every word into syllables to practice the pronunciation. For example, the word amigo in Spanish has 3 syllables, amigo. In this and in most cases, each syllable contains one vowel sound. However, you don't need to stress about dividing words into syllables at this point. The goal is to listen and repeat the sounds until you become familiar with the correct pronunciation. Remember, we're only talking about the sounds of the letters, not their names. But you can watch our alphabet video if you want to know the Spanish letters' names in case you ever need to spell a word. In this video, we'll divide the Spanish consonants in 3 groups. Letters that sound the same in Spanish as they do in English, letters with pronunciations that you must keep in mind, and 3 letters with special pronunciation rules. Let's start with the letters that sound the same in Spanish as they do in English. They are B, D, F, K, M, N, P, and S. Ba, be, bi, bo, bu. Da, de, di, do, du. Fa, fe, fi, fo, fu. Ma, me, mi, mo, mu. Na, ne, ni, no, nu. Pa, pe, pi, po, pu. And sa, se, si, so, su. Let's move on to the letters with pronunciations that you must keep in mind. The letter L in Spanish sounds like the L in the English word lemon. For example, la, le, li, lo, lu. T. In Spanish, T sounds like the T in the English word stop. It is not aspirated, unlike the word top. When you pronounce the T in top, you release a puff of air that is not present in Spanish pronunciation. So it is ta, te, ti, to, tu. The letter H is always silent in Spanish. So this would be a, e, I, o, u. Remember, we say hola and not hola. We say hola. The letter J sounds like the H in the English word hot. So this would be ha, he, hi, ho, hu. When we are writing a text in Spanish and we laugh, we write ha, 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 ha. And it is pronounced ha, 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 not ja, ja, ja. Okay? The next letter is the ñ, which is unique to Spanish. It sounds like the ny, like the ñ in the English word canyon. It's a very nasal ni sound. It's very here. It's ñ, ñ. In Spanish, the letter V sounds just like the letter B. So this would be ba, be, bi, bo, bu. And not va, ve, vi, but ba, be, bi, bo, bu. The letter W is not commonly used in Spanish words, but in most cases it can be like the English W. In most of Latin America, the letter Z sounds like the S, so there's no difference. So this would be sa, se, si, so, su. But in places like Spain, it sounds like the TH in the English word thin. So they would pronounce it tha, the, fi, tho, thu. But in Latin America, it is safe to just say sa, se, si, so, su, like a regular S. And the last letter of this group is actually the double L. Now, double L can be pronounced with the sound of the English Y, as in the word yes, or with the sound j present in magic. So this word can be lluvia or lluvia. Both are correct. So this could be ja, je, ji, jo, ju, or ya, ye, yi, yo, you. As you might be able to tell, pronouncing the j sound is a little bit harder, so when we're speaking fast, we tend to just say y, ya, ye, yi, yo, you. Now the third group, consonants with special rules. The letter C has two different sounds. Before A, O, and U, C sounds like the K in the English word kite. So this would be ka, ko, ku. But before E and I, C sounds like the S in the English word see. So this would be se and si. The letter Q always comes with a U in Spanish, and the combination QU sounds like the K in the English word kite again. So when used together, the U becomes silent. For example, this would be que and ki. See how the U is ignored. The letter G also has two different sounds. Before A, O, and U, G sounds like the G in the English word go. So this would be ga, go, and gu. But before E and I, G sounds like the H in the English word hot. So this would be he and he. The letter X has two different sounds. In some words, it sounds like the x in the English word box. For example, in the Spanish word taxi, taxi. But in other words, it can sound like the H in the English word hot. For example, Mexico, Mexico. The letter Y has two different sounds. When it's used as a vowel, it sounds like the E in the English word feet. But when it's used as a consonant, it sounds like the Y in the English word yes. Let's practice both sounds in one phrase. Tú y yo. Y yo. Tú y yo, which means you and I. The letter R has two different sounds in Spanish, R and R. Let's start with the sound R. The R letter has this sound when it is the first or last letter in a word, for example, rata or amor. And it also sounds like this when it is followed by a consonant, for example, arco, horno, arco, horno. In the last case where the R sounds like pr, it is when it follows a consonant and it is the first letter in a syllable. For example, alrededor, alrededor, and sonrisa, sonrisa. And now the sound R. It is very similar to how the double T is pronounced in the English word butter. Butter. So it has this sound when it is placed between two vowels. For example, para, pera, hora, lira. And when it follows a consonant and it is not the first letter in a syllable. For example, creo, trato, prisa. So remember, this word is trabajo and not trabajo. It is trabajo. Now let's practice reading the syllables of the following words. Preparado, preparado. Amigable, amigable. Computadora, computadora. Burrito, burrito. Hecho, hecho. Hospital, hospital. Internacional, internacional. Gracias, gracias. Muy bien. Now, there's definitely a lot of information in this video. I would say just focus on the ones that are the hardest for you. And remember, you can do these exercises over and over. Try to pronounce them before I pronounce them and see if it matches. Please let us know if there's anything else you want to know, and see you in the next video. Adios.